listen-only mode.
All right, welcome everyone to today's Hoop Shoot webinar, Need to Know for Lodge Directors. We're going to go over everything you need to know as a Lodge Director about the Hoop Shoot season. And my name is Colleen Musinski. I'm the one running all these Hoop Shoot webinars. I'm the Youth Programs Associate here at the Elks National Foundation. And I want to take a second to thank you for taking the time out of your day to be with me. We're going to go through a bunch of different tasks and reminders for Lodge Directors for before, during, and after your contest. Now, if you need access to this recording at any time, or if you know of Lodge Directors or other Elks that would be interested in watching a recording, we'll be posting that on the Hoop Shoot website. So let's get started. Just a couple of reminders for those of us who have not done a webinar in a little bit. If you can't hear me, turn up the volume. And if at any point you get disconnected, return to your email with the webinar confirmation email and click on the link again to re-enter. You can call our office at any time and we'll walk you through connecting back again. So use that number on the screen, 773-755-4730, if you have any technical issues. But we're going to start this webinar out with the three main and big words that we usually start each webinar out with. And we want to remind ourselves of the Hoop Shoot slogan, compete, connect, succeed. This is what it's all about. It's important to keep these goals in mind when planning and promoting your contest. So just a little bit about each. Compete, we hope to help youth build character and develop good sportsmanship through healthy competition. Connect, at the same time we want to encourage youth to connect with peers and form relationships with caring adults by providing them opportunities to interact, encouraging family involvement, and involving Elk volunteers. And finally, through the Hoop Shoot, we hope youth succeed. Through participating in the Hoop Shoot, we hope that contestants will develop skills and values that aid them in achieving success beyond the basketball court, in school and in life. So keeping compete, connect, succeed, that big Hoop Shoot mantra in mind when you're planning your contest is important. It's important for every volunteer and fan of the program to keep in mind, because this is really what it's all about. Speaking of what it's all about, let's also quickly go through our Hoop Shoot program goals. We like to say here at the office that the Hoop Shoot is more than a contest. It's more than just those 25 free throws. We're creating a quality experience for youth, and we want to engage contestants at every level of competition. And really honestly, Lodge Directors have a very important role and a very important responsibility in this. This is where kids start. This is where the contestants start. This is where your national finalists start their journey to Springfield. And if you create that quality experience for them, they're more encouraged and more apt to continue on in the program or continue to come year after year, even if they don't qualify to move on. So, win or lose, we hope every Hoop Shoot contestant walks away from their Hoop Shoot contest saying that they had fun, they learned valuable life lessons, and met some stellar Elks. We want to promote program values to contestants in new and innovative ways. Hard work, dedication, sportsmanship. We want to think of creative ways and innovative ways to encourage contestants to adopt these values as their own. And finally, we want to increase Elks visibility and inspire parents of contestants and other Hoop Shoot partners to join the order. Really, that's what it's all about as well. We want the community and parents to see what a great organization the Elks is, all that they're doing for their children and children in the community, and be inspired to join. So it's just three main program goals that go along with the compete, connect, succeed mantra. And again, quick overview, keeping them in mind will help get you in the right frame of mind to run a stellar contest. And it's something that we talk about here at the office all the time. These are goals that we talk about at every level of competition. It's really what it's all about. And I hope you're as excited as I am to try and hit these goals in everything that we do, and make sure that we create a quality program for these for those kids in your community. So those are basic overall program goals. for the hoop shoot. Now we want to get into specifically lodge directors and your lodge contest. So this is what this webinar is all about. Specifically for your lodge contest, again, a lodge contest is a contest run by your lodge director. We're not talking about preliminary contests run by coaches or schools or rec centers or Boys and Girls Club. We're talking about the official local lodge contest. This is where the journey of Springfield starts. This is what lodge directors are all about. And we have 5 keys to success for lodge directors. And these are 5 actions that all successful lodge hoop shoot directors complete. So number 1, a successful lodge hoop shoot director will follow the lodge director's checklist. The checklist is an essential guide for all directors and will keep you on track for a great contest. This resource clearly outlines everything you need to know to run a successful hoop shoot contest and provides reminders for before, during, and after your contest. I suggest consult it often, and I'll show you how to find it in the next coming slides. It's very easy. It's a nice outline and it'll keep you on track. Number 2, do your prep work. Successful directors complete their prep work well before their contest is run. All those small and not so small details that need to be done before the contest are done, and we'll go through many of those details in detail next. Number 3, successful lodge directors communicate with everyone. Communication is a key component to a successful hoop shoot program. And you are going to get so tired of me saying the word communicate by the end of this webinar. I apologize, but that's what it's all about. Communication, communication, communication. If you want a successful hoop shoot contest, you need to make sure that the communication is there. Number 4, successful lodge hoop shoot directors submit their paperwork. That sounds boring, but it's very important, and we don't have a lot of mandatory paperwork for lodge hoop shoot directors. But of the 2 mandatory forms we ask that you fill out and send along, they're very important. They're imperative to the success of the program. And some of these forms are now only online, so we're going to go through how to access them. It's a quick and painless process, should take you no more than 10 minutes. So finally, and probably one of the most important keys to success, is that all successful lodge directors follow up with families after their contest is over. So contestants who win and contestants who don't win, successful lodge directors make sure they follow up with those families to keep them engaged. So, as promised, let's go through each of these 5 keys to success in a little bit more detail, starting with the checklist. Now, this nice illustration on the screen shows exactly where you can find the lodge director's checklist. This checklist was not included in your hoop shoot packet. It's something that you can download directly from our website. So this is your roadmap and your lifeline. Everything you need to keep yourself on track can be found in this document. It has a lot of important reminders, and actually a lot of important reminders that we'll talk about at the rest of this webinar. So it's all in a nice, I believe it's an 8 or 9 page document specifically for lodge directors. That manual that came in your annual hoop shoot packet is a nice resource as well, a good supplement that has the rules, but this is specifically for lodge directors. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go right to where you can find the lodge director checklist. So as you can see, if you can see my cursor, it's in the director's drills section, and it's under lodge, the lodge director section. So let's go there right now. So here we are at the Hoop Shoot website, and as you can see up here in the corner it says member logout. That means I'm already logged in. So you're going to need your elks.org username and password in order to access all of the resources on our Hoop Shoot website. So the Lodge Director checklist can be found in Director's Drills on the left-hand side. You want to click on Lodge Directors. And then right here is the checklist. And let's open it up just for a second. It's in PDF format. So as you can see, it has really nice, actually, check boxes, you know, that you can check off everything. It has reminders of how many volunteers you need to recruit, what resources you might need before you start your contest. It includes links to where you can find specific resources. And this is all for before, during, and after the contest. So really important and great reminders. It looks like I was getting myself confused. I apologize. So this particular document is 2 pages. The document I was speaking of that's 8 or 9 pages and over is actually the manual, so I'm so sorry. So the checklist here, the Lodge Director checklist, is succinct 2 pages reminders to keep you in check for your lodge contest. So while we're here, let's take a look at some of the other great resources available here on the Hoop Shoot website, specifically in the Lodge Director section, and then we'll go through a couple more. So we're going to talk about some of these in a bit more detail, but right here you can find a flyer for contest winners, your participation sign-in sheets, and certificate of achievement. So this is specifically for all of your contestants at the Lodge level. The flyer, you can put information about what the next steps are. Your participation sign-in sheet is just a simple grid that you can have, especially if you have a lot of kids showing up, sign their names and ages. And certificate of achievement, we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail, but this is an editable certificate for contest winners or participants that you can edit for your specific lodge information. We also have Hoop Shoot letterhead available anytime you want to write a letter or a reminder on official letterhead that's available to you right now, right here. And then we also have the Hoop Shoot webinars posted here, and this is on each one of our pages. But again, if you ever need to access a recording of any of our webinars, this is where you can find it. We're also going to go into detail about the Lodge Contest Report Form and the Hoop Shoot Participation Report Form a little bit later, so we'll hold off on that. It's an exciting new addition to our Hoop Shoot program, which will make things easier and more streamlined. But I'm just going to direct your attention to 3 more places that has information for Lodge directors. It has information for all directors, but if you click on the contest materials section, this is where you can find a lot of copies of the things that were available in your Hoop Shoot packet at the beginning of August. So we have the scorecards, age categories, instruction sheet for contest volunteers and officials, and a certificate of insurance, among other things. This is where, you know, you can find copies and download copies of all of this important information. You can also find a link to our Hoop Shoot PSA, which is a 60-second TV spot that promotes the Hoop Shoot, along with a link to our Hoop Shoot film. And this is something I've mentioned in a couple webinars before and in a bunch of email reminders. These are great resources to promote your contests, so make sure you check them out. 2 more links, like I had said. Let's go to the Promotionals tab. So this is specifically for nicely designed promotional pieces to promote your contest. So we have the poster, the trifold, and the brochure available here, along with the film and the PSA. We also have the logo available, and you can use this logo for anything and everything. So anything from posters to signs to programs for your contest, even up to if you'd like to create merchandise from a local vendor, you can definitely use this logo. Go for it. It's here. It's available. It's the nice red, white, and blue one we're using now up here in the left-hand corner. And feel free to use it for anything and everything you need to brand your Hoop Shoot contest. And I know I mentioned merchandise before. So speaking of merchandise, let's take a look at the merchandise tab. So as I mentioned, you can use that logo. You can give it to a local vendor if you'd like to create any sort of, you know, Hoop Shoot swag or Hoop Shoot apparel. But if you'd like to use our official apparel catalog, you can click here. This is Windy City Silk Screenings, who is our licensed vendor here in Chicago, and they can ship to anywhere in the United States. So they have some great things available, like States apparel, mini basketballs, and other novelty items. There's also information about ordering trophies, contest basketballs, and Hoop Shoot pins here. So great resource, especially when you're thinking about doing that prep work for your contest and you'd like to provide prizes for your contestants or your winners or your volunteers. This is where you can find all that. So I just threw a lot at you at once. I would definitely recommend taking the time to explore the Director's Drills tab a little bit further, figure out what you need. There's resources on here that you're interested in learning more about. You know, take that 10 minutes out of your day and look to see what's available. We try to keep it updated weekly, and we also try and make sure everything that anyone needs is on here. So if you are in need of something and you can't find it, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'll provide it for you if I can, and I'll be sure to also post it here because I'm sure others would have questions. So anyways, let's go back to, oops, there we are. Let's go back to our presentation. So we just went through the first of 5 keys to success for a successful hoop shoot lodge hoop shoot director, and that was follow the checklist. So I showed you where to find the checklist among a million other things on the hoop shoot website. So let's talk about prep work, and some of this stuff I just touched upon in our quick tutorial of the hoop shoot website, but prep work for a lodge contest means the obvious basics: securing a gym space, recruiting volunteers, and promoting your contest to local youth. You can check out our most recent webinars for tips on this. Our kickoff webinar, which was in August, kind of goes through all of that in broad detail, and then our promotion webinar, which was run in September, goes into greater detail and more finite detail on tips and tricks for promoting your contest. However, we're going to go through some reminders for tasks that are best done ahead of time for your lodge contest, but are often overlooked to the last minute. So these are all on the lodge director checklist, and it's a good refresher. Again, they're things that a lot of lodge directors might forget until the very last minute, and it's good to get that prep work done ahead of time. So number 1, gather extra contest supplies and volunteer instructions, and make sure you have enough resources plus extra on hand for every contestant, parent, fan, and volunteer. This includes many of the resources available in the contest materials section that we just went through on the Hoop Shoot website. So they're easy to access and print out. And it's especially a good idea to have extra registration forms, age category sheets, volunteer instructions, and score sheets available. You never know when you're going to use them. So it's good to keep in mind. Make sure you have that all printed and ready to go before the day of your contest. Number 2, prepare opening remarks to address the audience. As a lodge director, you don't necessarily have to be the person to do this, but definitely make sure an Elks representative is on hand to address the crowd before the competition. You could use a couple resources for this. We have 2015 Elks Hoop Shoot speaking points, which are pictured right here. As an inspiration, they're just quick bullet points about the history of the program, the Elks as an organization, and the Hoop Shoot in general. You can also use a template speech, which is provided in the instruction sheet for contest volunteers and officials document, and that's posted in the contest materials section. So there's a nice little canned speech that you can update with your specific lodge information. So just make sure that you have someone, or if it's you, if you'd like to address the crowd, make sure you have remarks prepared ahead of time. It's always helpful. Number 3, think about recognition. Maybe you've ordered trophies already, but it's a good idea to think about ways to recognize all of your contestants, whether they win their division or not. So you can consider using the certificate of achievement that's pictured that we talked about, posted in the Lodge Directors section of the Hoop Shoot website, or you can create your own. The nice thing about the certificate is this is what it looks like. You can edit the gray boxes, and you can edit any of this text. So if you want to change local champion to local participant, you can do so. If you'd like to add another signature line for someone else, you are more than welcome to do so. This is a nice template and easily printed. It's just in Microsoft Word. So definitely think about recognition beyond trophies before your contest. It might be something that's easy to overlook, but having those printed out and ready to go is helpful. And finally, you want to create a flyer for contest winners. And this is a nice segue into our discussion of communication, which will come up next, but communication is key. You want to make sure the winners know where they need to be after your lodge contest, and you want to make sure you have that information ready and available well before you run your contest even. So a flyer is a great way to kind of hand off that information to everyone interested. There's a template right here, pictured here. You can put the contest date and time and location, and then contact information for that district director. So this flyer template is available in the Lodge Directors section of Directors Drills as well. All right, I think I mentioned it before. It's the word you're going to get tired of me saying, but communicate. This is our 3rd key to success, and it is something that is so imperative. I can't even stress it enough, and it is something that that really really, honestly, it's the most important tip of all, and all successful lodge directors from Oregon to Maine share one thing in common. They are master communicators. There are three main groups of people that you need to make sure you have clear and direct lines of communication with in order to have a successful contest. So the first being your district directors, or your state directors for those of you in states without districts. You want to make sure you exchange contest information with the director immediately above you and invite him or her to attend your lodge contest if possible. You need to make sure you have their contest information to pass along to all interested parties. So, like I had mentioned, the Hoop Shoot film and the Hoop Shoot PSA are posted on our website, and make sure you check those out because it makes finals look so exciting and awesome. And as we know, that's what all these kids are working towards, the finals. How awesome are they? The only way to make it to finals is to win your regional contest. And the only way to participate in regionals is to move up from your lodge contest. So your lodge participants will miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime if they don't do that next step, which is go to districts or go to state. But you want to make sure that they can get there and they have the tools they need and the information they need to get there. So it is imperative that you contact your district director, touch base with him or her, make sure you're both on the same page about the contest location, date, and time so you can pass that along. So another group you need to make sure you have regular, open, and direct communication with is your volunteers. Provide job descriptions and review contest rules with volunteers and officials, both before your contest and on the day of. And make sure everyone is on the same page and understands their duties. This is especially important for registration volunteers. And I just want to make a quick note on that. The age categories really matter. And contestants who shoot in the wrong age category will be disqualified. There are no exceptions to that rule. And to be 100% honest, a lot of the times kids get disqualified because of a mistake or an error on a part of an adult that's working the hoop shoot. And that, mistakes happen and we understand. But it is heartbreaking when, a 10-year-old shoots in the wrong age category and doesn't have the opportunity to move on, especially if they win. And it happens often. I get calls from parents every year who are disappointed in the fact that their child was put in the wrong age group, won, and then was disqualified at no fault of their own. So we can stop mistakes like that from happening by making sure we have that direct and open communication with our volunteers. Have that age category sheet in bright colors, handy, ready, and available to everyone so everyone understands those rules. The great thing about the hoop shoot is it's an easy contest to run as far as rules go. There's not a lot of rules and regulations if you look at our manual, but age category 1 is a huge one. Make sure everyone's on the same page about that. So our next group and our final group is parents. You want to communicate important contest information, including rules and next steps with contestants and with parents. So make sure the parents know that age category rule as well. And as we talked about with our district director communication, make sure those parents know where they're going next if their child has won. It's imperative that they have all the information they need regarding your district contest. There's nothing more frustrating, I'm sure, as a parent when your kid or your child does something well, and then they're looking forward to and excited for the next step, and if there's no information about that next step, that's frustrating for both the child and the parent. So make sure you have that available. I can't stress it enough. So. All right, I promise that's maybe the last time you're going to hear me say the word communicate. Probably not, though, but very important. So number 4, submit your paperwork. This is the least glamorous key to success, I'll give you that, but it is also very important. And as I had mentioned before, lodge directors don't have a lot of mandatory paperwork to turn in, but that paperwork that you need to turn in is very important. And the 2 pieces of paperwork I'm talking about are the registration forms and the lodge contest report form. So registration forms. Winners of your contest and runners-up must complete these forms in their entirety. So make sure when you're looking at them that they're signed by a parent or guardian and that every question and field is filled out. And winners forms should be forwarded directly to the district or state director immediately. So those registration forms follow our winners throughout the hoop shoot journey, and they land on my desk for the national finalists. So it's really important we have them, that they're filled out and signed, and this is an important piece of paperwork that you need to make sure you complete as soon as your contest is done. So registration forms are important. The next and equally most important piece of paperwork you need to fill out is your Lodge Contest Report form. And this year, much like last year, it must be filled out online. So let's go into this in a bit more detail. So the Lodge Contest Report form is under the Lodge Directors section in Directors Drills, and I had pointed it out when we took a field trip to our website. Only one form can be downloaded and filled out per elks.org username and password, and only one form can be completed per lodge. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you as a lodge director aren't so comfortable on the computer, but you have maybe your lodge secretary, another Elks member who would be willing to do it, make sure you assign that person to do it, and as long as they have a username and password, they'll be able to. The great thing about the Lodge Contest Report form is it's not very many questions. It breaks down participation by preliminary and lodge contests. So if you have a feeder contest to your lodge contest, you can report those numbers and then report your lodge contest participation numbers. And then it has just a couple questions about engaging contestants and volunteers. It's a simple form. It takes about 10 minutes to fill out. And then you have the ability to save and print it for easy sharing for anyone interested as soon as you submit it. So again, it is different than reporting participation in the past. I know in the past we had physical sheets that were then turned into your district and state directors, and then it went up the line. Now we're kind of cutting out the middlemen, as they say, and your participation numbers are coming directly to where they need to go, which is the foundation. So then we can report on, the success of the program in terms of numbers of kids who are reached by the hoop shoot. So set a reminder on your phone or on your calendar, or tell your spouse to remind you as soon as the contest is over. I know contest time can be a stressful time. You got a lot on your mind. But make sure that this gets done as soon as your contest is over. Again, 10 minutes online, it's done. And if you do it as soon as your contest is over, you'll save yourself a lot of headache, because I'll be reminding you via email until it's turned in. So if you want to save yourself from annoying emails from me, which I know a lot of people do, take that 10 minutes to fill out the Lodge Contest Report form as soon as your contest is over. And anyone who has any questions or has issues accessing it, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to walk you through it. Again, it's pretty easy. And speaking of walking through it, let's do that right now for a quick second. So the link to the Lodge Contest Report form can be found here. It's the first link listed on the Lodge Directors section. So circled in green, we had seen it on our little field trip to the Hoop Shoot website. It's right there. This is what it looks like. As you can see, there's a space for your lodge name, your contact information, your preliminary contest participation information if that applies, and then your lodge contest participation information. Then it asks for volunteer participation information and then related activities. So that's where you can talk about other things you do to engage hoop shoot contestants. So just a couple reminders that we had talked about previously. Each lodge and each username and password only has access to one. You can create a PDF version that you can save once you submit it, and the submit button is circled in green at the bottom. Just a reminder, the Lodge Contest Report form needs to be completed at one time, so those of you that might be familiar with our Community Investment Program grant application process, it's a little bit different because those applications you can save and return to. This is kind of a one-shot deal, but you don't necessarily need, again, more than 10 minutes to fill it out. So once you click that submit button at the bottom, the information goes directly to us, and then again you can it creates a PDF form so that you can save it. You can pass it along to your state director, your district director, or anyone who asks. You'll have it, so which is great. So again, this process is completely online this year. It was completely online last year. But a difference this year is we have a new addition. You can now track participation in your state and district using our Hoop Shoot participation report. And this report is posted directly under the Lodge Contest report form link on the Hoop Shoot website. So let's go back for just a quick second. So sorry. So as you can see right under it where it says new, the Hoop Shoot participation report, this is where you can find it. And let's go back again. And this is what it looks like. So the report shows which lodges have filled out a lodge contest report form and which have not. And you can filter results by state and sort by lodge name, lodge number, or district. So this is great for bragging purposes first and foremost, because you can check all of the lodges in your state and see how many kids are participating in the Hoop Shoot and compare it to all the other states. You know, hopefully yours is at the top and you can brag about that to everyone. So this is a great resource to just make sure that yours came through okay, but if you click that submit button, it did. And then this is also a good resource for district and state directors. You know, if you happen to be one as well as a lodge director, you can keep track of those in your district or state. Or it's just good for general information about the program. Anyone who's interested can access this. So. All right, we're in the home stretch, guys. Thanks again for being with me today. And we've gone through 4 keys to success for successful Lodge Hoop Shoot directors. Our final key to success is follow-up. So we want to make sure winners know exactly where they're going and what to expect. So these are a couple reminders of what you want to do to follow up with the families who have won your lodge contest. You want to arrange for expenses for your winners traveled to district, and that should be covered by your lodge, and you should communicate these arrangements with the families. You know, let parents know about these arrangements and make sure everything is clear up front. And then once you communicate that information, give the winners' families a call and answer any questions they may have. A lot of times, especially on the contest day, might be a little bit overwhelming. They might not have questions until they sit down at family dinner that night and actually think about it. So really great courtesy to maybe call the winners' families and you know, check in. Doesn't have to be that night. It can be closer to the district date just to make sure they don't have any questions. And then consider collecting contact information for all parents, whether their child had won or not, and let them know about upcoming lodge events. You can create a mailing list or email listserv and ask parents if they'd like updates. So this is also a great way to keep in contact with families who have kids who would be interested in participating next year. So you can send out a save the date for your Hoop Shoot contest in 2015. Or, you know, again, make sure that you communicate upcoming lodge events that they might be interested. You know, maybe your lodge does a soccer shoot as well, or maybe your lodge has a promise grant project that they might be interested in, or maybe you have dinners or, you know, other events that you think the parents would be interested in. Great way to cultivate new membership and get the community involved in all the great things that your lodge is doing. So I guess just to sum up follow-up, the most important part of follow-up is to be available. Make sure contestants and parents know that they can count on you for the answers. And even if you have to contact others for those answers, you're that resource. You're their go-to person for anything they have or any questions they have regarding the Hoop Shoot. So we've gone through our 5 keys to success in record time. Thank you again for being here. We just have a couple quick reminders, just general program reminders. This is relevant to you as a lodge director, but also you as a fan of the program. So with well over 2,000 Hoop Shoot directors at various levels across the country, really the most logical, effective way for us to communicate program changes, reminders, and updates is email. We have weekly email updates going out to lodges, lodge directors, district directors, state directors, and regional directors, just to keep everyone on track. And make sure we have a working email address for you, and make sure these emails aren't going to spam or trash folders. So if you got a webinar reminder, then we have your email address and you're all good. Again, we'll be communicating hopefully weekly with important updates regarding the Hoop Shoot. So check your inbox. We'll try not to inundate you with needless information once a week at the most with important program updates. Another thing is we want to hear from you. Tell us all about your contest or highlight the achievements of a stellar contestant. We have many features on the Hoop Shoot website that highlight our success stories. Sharing helps us all learn from lodge directors all the way up. So share stories with us. We got a lot of great stories last year that we used not only on the Hoop Shoot website, but on the Elks National Foundation website. We used it in our convention presentation and films. We can't get enough of these great stories. So if you have them, if you have those pictures, send them along. Email hoopshoot@elks.org and attach digital photos. Use the Contestant of the Week form located in the promotional material section of the Hoop Shoot website, or brag on the Lodge Contest Report form. Last year we had 31 lodges share unique, successful contest ideas, and those ideas that they shared are something that I can then turn around and give as advice directly to you. So again, sharing helps us all learn. It highlights the successes. We want to celebrate those, and we don't know about them unless you tell me, because again, with so many lodge directors and contests happening throughout the country, you know, we won't know about those successes unless you tell us. So this is just a great reminder. Make sure you keep us informed and in the loop. We do our best to highlight those successes as often as possible. So, all right. Just a couple more reminders regarding webinars. There's still so much more to talk about. So we have an upcoming webinar specifically for district directors on November 10th. On Tuesday, November 18th, we have Fun Tips for an Engaging Contest webinar scheduled, and that's for all directors, talking about fun ways to engage your contestants and other youth at your contest. We'll also have a state directors webinar in December, and then a national finals webinar in January. And that particular webinar is far off, but coming at us like a freight train. It's unbelievable to me that April is coming up so fast, but that particular webinar is good for anyone interested in keeping up with the national finals and updates, whether you're going to Springfield or not. So if you have any ideas for webinar topics, let me know. If you have, if you ever need a copy of the PowerPoint slides used in any of these presentations, please reach out to me as well. I know a lot of directors do their own presentations, whether it be at a state association convention or a district deputy meeting or anything and everything. If you need those slides and my notes to make your own presentation, I would be more than happy to share them. So just let me know. So that is the end of our Hoop Shoot Lodge Director webinar for today. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. Also, always contact me if you have any questions, day or night, at hoopshoot@elks.org, or call the number on your screen. And again, check out that website. It has a lot of great information. So, all right. So, again, thank you all for being here so much, for taking the time out of your busy day to learn more about how to run a successful Lodge Hoop Shoot contest. I really appreciate your time and attention, and I really hope to be available for any questions you might have. So if you don't have any now, definitely use that contact information to get at me whenever you need to. All right. Well, thanks again, and have a fantastic rest of your week.